Hi everyone, my name's Alison and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator, and welcome to part 2 of 4 videos where we're making a box of 12 greeting cards. Part 1 was where we made a quilted card. This was the one I did on the actual video, and then this was one that I'd made previously. And there'll be 12 cards in total. I'll actually put a link, I think it goes up the top in the corner, linking to this first video. And there'll be 12 cards in total, and then the final video I'll also be showing how I make a gift box to keep the cards in. So in today's video we're going to be making this card. I suppose you can call it, well, I call it a fold back card. But when you open it up, it's just this section here is just folded back like that. So with the theme, we have the greys and just sort of bringing out some of the petal pink colour, and then this obviously, as you can see, is more petal pink. And then this is using the so it's using the peony papers, which I think are so pretty, and the main colours in there are petal pink, basic grey and whisper white, which is what we'll be using. So for today's card we'll be doing the similar to this, but we'll be using more of the greys. And I have decided throughout to always use a basic grey card base. So this is 8 1/4 by 5 3/4, scored at 4 1/8. We'll also need a piece of whisper white that is 4 inches by 5 5/8, and that's to go inside there. We'll need 2 pieces of whisper white that is 1 3/8 of an inch by 5 5/8 of an inch. We're then going to need 3 pieces of DSP. You want 2 of the same design and then 1 contrasting one. In fact, I think, yeah, so that's actually the back. I'll be using the back of this design, which will be this here. Okay. And then you'll also want a scrap. For this part here, I've used the thick whisper white cardstock because this is going to be, you wouldn't want it to bend using the standard whisper white, so I've used a thick whisper white cardstock to cut that out. And then if you don't have thick, you could use the standard whisper white and then perhaps just reinforce it on the back with a smaller rectangle like that, and then just stick that on once you've done that, if you don't have the thick. Okay, so it's a very simple card, so let's get started. Okay, so let's move these out of the way. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is just to create our fold on the front of the card. So we'll get our trimmer in, and you want to open up so you've got the front there, and you're going to score on the inside because the card's going to be folded back. So we'll score on the inside, and you just want to line it up at 1 1/2 inches, and then just score that. And then just fold that back, just ensuring that the edges meet nicely, and then give that a burnish. like that. Okay, and we will eventually be sticking this down. I just preferred that stuck down, that we'll put on our mats and layers, and that's basically the only, well, it's not even difficult. All the rest is just sticking on our mats and layers. So it's a very nice, simple card. So I found the best way to, so everything is lined up, is to put in our inside mat first with just some wet glue. Just check that's even all the way round. And then what we'll be doing is one of our DSP, like the first design, we'll be adhering that like that. But what I'm going to do first is I'd like to incorporate some of the petal pink in these flowers here. So I'm just going to use petal pink, the dark petal pink stamping blend, and it's just a case of, I am no artist at all, but what I do is use to my advantage where the designer has done the shading on the flowers. I just colour that bit in the petal pink. Just have a look. You can see that okay. So I'm just going to go ahead and just colour just where the shading is, so that it's just not plain grey. There we go. I probably actually coloured in some leaves on there as well, but that's fine, that doesn't really show. But it's just using the shading just so that it brings out some of the colour there. And so what we're going to do is just stick that onto there. Checking that that's straight. Okay, and then what we'll do is our other pieces here, we'll then use this as our guide so it's all lining up nicely. What we need to do now is we'll go ahead and we need to colour in the shaded areas on our second piece of DSP using the dark petal pink stamping blend. Okay, and there we go. I think that's a bit of petal there, I can't tell, we'll just colour that in anyway. It's our card, we can do what we like with it. I think that might be a bit of petal up there as well. Right, okay, so now we want to stick that onto our two pieces of Whisper White that we've got here, the 1 3/8 by 5 5/8. So we just want to adhere that onto there. freezes. There you go. And then this we're going to, in fact we won't stick that on for the moment, we'll actually just stick our centrepiece onto our Whisper White and we'll put that on first. Okay, and then this we just want to adhere onto the front there, and just ensuring that this is in line with the bottom of the panel there. There we go. And then this last piece will actually slightly sit under this piece there. So what we want to do is just ensure we line it up on the edge there so we've got an even spacing, and then the remainder will be under our piece that we fold back there. Okay, so I find it a bit easier to have it on the side. Just line that up there, just check that it's the same top and bottom. There we go. Okay, and then we can stick down the folded piece. Like that. So as you can see, it's a very simple card, but just a bit different, so it's not just makes a change from having your normal front of the card. There we go. Right, so now we're going to do our, let's get the other card in. We're just going to die cut our sentiments here, and I'm going to be using the Stitch So Sweetly dies. This is one of my favourite die sets actually. I do use this all the time. And the one we're going to be using is this second size. Let me just double check that's right. Yeah, second size down. And again, just to remind you, we're going to use our thick Whisper White cardstock. Let's bring it out. And this will be the, well, we'll be die cutting this, and also we'll need to die cut our peony flower as well. So just line that up on there like that, run that through. You can, if you want to, stamp your sentiment first. I just prefer to die cut mine first, and then I can see exactly where I'm going to put my stamp. So we now have that, and I'm going to use the same sentiment that I've used here, which is happy birthday. So the other cards were the thank you ones, so these will be happy birthday, and I'm using the peaceful moments. Got some nice sentiments on there. Put this on our block. That's okay. And then use a good black ink. Go, and then we'll just put that in the corner. Oops. There we go. So we'll just put that to one side, and then we're going to use our other piece of Whisper White. This is just standard thickness Whisper White piece of scrap to put our peony on here, using the Prized Peony stamp set. So we're also going to be colouring this in as well, so we've got lots of colouring on this video. There we go, that's so lovely. Okay, and I'm actually going to die cut this first. I do with certain things prefer to die cut before I colour in, just in case you've spent all that time colouring it in and then something goes wrong when you go and die cut it. Okay, so I should get the die cut out first actually, but the dies I'm using are the peony dies, and we're going to cut out our peony flower that we've just made, which is that die there. Okay, so line this up onto our stamped image. Lining it up as best as you can. And that just dies that out nicely there. Dies that out, did I say? Cuts that out. Right, so we'll colour in our peony. And again I've used on this one I've used the dark petal pink stamping blends, and again I'm just following the shaded areas that the designer has already very kindly put there for us, and I'm just going to colour those in with the petal pink. I should just say I'm only going to I won't do the centre, as I'll do the centre in slightly darker colours, which I'll show you in a second. Okay, there we go. So that's that. Oh, just a little bit there. Okay, and then for the centre, I'm going to use the light and dark pumpkin pie. I had a look online to see what the colours, the centres were on peonies, and that was the closest I could get, so I thought it was quite nice to have that orangey in the centre. So I think first of all we'll go on to the, just use the dark blends just on the little markings that are already there, including that little dark bit in the centre, and then go over it with the light pumpkin pie. Like that, and then I'll just bring out with the dark again. As I say, I'm not a painter or drawer or anything like that, but that just brings that centre out nice. And in fact, once we've adhered it onto our card, I'm going to use some Wink of Stella just to give it that nice shimmery, delicate glitter on there. Right, so first of all, before we stick our peony on, we'll just stick the front panel on first. Now what we need to ensure is that obviously our card is going to open like that, so we don't want to apply glue to the entire back piece. So the best thing to do is to hold it up and line up where you want your panel to go, and then I find it easy just to count the scallops at the top so you know how far along it is, so you know where you can apply glue. So mine is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 and a bit. So if I also put my finger there, turn it over, I know to only apply glue to this side. And I don't go right to the edge with this, because you don't want any glue oozing through the little stitched holes that are there. So find where you want it to go. And then just stick that down. And just check that we haven't got any glue on the back, which we don't. And then just keep pressing until you know it's stuck securely. Okay, and then with our peony, I think, well yes, we'll put that on, we'll use dimensionals, just so that that stands out even more. Use my tweezers here. And just put some dimensionals all over. I do like to make sure that it's well covered, because the last thing you want is as it's sinking, especially if you're going to be posting it. Okay, let's just take the backings off. Go, take that all off, yeah. And then we'll just position that on our card. There we go, and then we'll use Wink of Stella, and we'll just go over the centre and then just over our bits that we've coloured in. I'm getting near the end of this actually. Let's order some more. And I know that it's really hard to see this on camera, but if you have this at home, you'll know how pretty that does make it look. I just don't think I can get that on the camera at all. But there we go. And then to finish it off, have to have some bling. And I find these champagne rhinestones just go really well. So I'll just put the little ones on. Sorry about the barking there. There seems to be a new dog a couple of houses away, which has now set my neighbour's dog off. I'll just plot one there. And there we go. So it's a nice simple card, but just looks a bit different. And so now we're 4 cards in to our set of 12 greetings cards. Okay, so I hope you liked the video. If you do, please give me a thumbs up. Also, if you'd like to know how to make the other cards, don't forget to click on the bell icon, and then you'll be informed when I upload another video. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.